Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome back to this virtual online class of APPA Public School. I am a social science teacher, Paulson Sampson. So let's continue where we left yesterday, right? So yesterday, like we have discussed about the who were the weavers, right? The decline of Indian textiles, and also many of the cotton mills which have come up in Bombay, in the western part of India, right? So yesterday we have read and discussed that, and some of the major reason why this decline, why are Indian textiles were declined, and also the chat session is also on, right? So you can chat now. It's good morning or good afternoon, right? The name of the chapter, weavers. Yes, okay. Weavers, iron smelters, iron smelters, and factory owners. Factory owners. All right. And today, the date 24th of December 2020. Okay. So yesterday I have given good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, my dear students. Let's continue. Okay. So some of the reasons for the decline of the Indian textiles. The one reason what we gave was the tough competitions which was given by the Britain or the European textile industries. Like the Indian market was over flooded with those cloths from England in the Indian market. As a result, there was demand which has decreased, and Indians can't compete with those cheap dresses which were being exported from England to India. Yeah, and also about this, the government didn't support here, because here in the India at that time it was ruled by Britishers. They didn't support the our textile owners or the workers, that those whose livelihood was totally dependent on this textile, right? So also against what was the impact, like many of the women who had the job of weaving, they also lost their job and they became jobless. And some other parts, what has happened means, after this job, if they are not doing this job means, so they were jobless, and some migrated to other places for work, maybe to work in the farm. Again they went back to the farming also, and again some fled the country. They went to maybe Africa or America, right, to work in the plantations. So this was the impact once the textile sorry, this Indian textile hills was hit by this Britain. Okay, so now also I have said about the cotton mills which come up, right? So totally the textile sector which did not decline, but there was a hope which come up by the cotton mills, and also because of the industrial revolution, right? Industrial revolution has started in in England, right? For as a result, England, the country, is called as the workshop of the world. Can anyone tell me who invented the spinning jenny? Who invented the spinning jenny? First, who invented the spinning jenny? Name? Because I said yesterday, do please remember. Again, I hope you all are carrying the notebook and jotting down the points in the book. Do please. Yes, John K. The name first, Hamza, Akka, right? Hamza. The next, Shivkumar Reddy, Sumit Reddy, John K. Okay, in which year? In which year John K. invented the spinning jenny? Year. I want the year also. Year 1764. Okay, if you have studied the chapter of like the trade to territory, right? So an event has occurred in 1764. Can I know which was the event? Trade to territory 1764. Which event occurred in India? 1764. Yes, 1764. It again coincides an event in Indian history. Yes, 1760, 1764. Sir, maybe James. Don't talk about James. Usha Sankarnavar. Okay, yes, you nailed it, Hamza. Yes, In the year 1764, the Battle of Plassey took place. 1764. Do please remember the event. 1764, spinning jenny was invented. Again, it coincides with the Battle of Plassey. The both were in the same year, 1764. Good. Yes, Priya Patil also. Okay, all right. So just do please remember those. Okay, so cotton mills have come up. The first cotton mill came up in Bombay in the year 1854. Yes, it's in Bombay. And then later on, the second one was 1861 in Ahmedabad, and later on Kanpur. And also because why this cotton mill have come up in this particular place? Because of the you can say the favorable condition. The most important raw material for this cloth was the cotton. It was grown because it grows in the black soil, and also the weather and the climate which suits it, and also the rain, it needs the rain, right? So because of these all those favorable conditions, this cotton mill have come up in these regions, right? It may be Gujarat, it may be in Bombay, Kanpur, also in Solapur, and also in our region, in Gulbarga region also we grow cotton right now recently. Yes, currently they have grown this cotton in their field. You can see them, right? Battle of Plassey. And then okay, the next one. Okay, so the now cotton mill have started coming up in India also. The impact of the industrialization, right? So totally this textile mill didn't decline. It had one more reason why it not been totally declined, because the later on we will discuss with the next topic, right? The one point which is pending will discuss simultaneously with this next topic. The next topic is, now we have read about weavers, right? So again also the factory owners, now the iron smelters. Okay, now iron smelters. The very first one is, what do you mean by smelter or smelt? Okay, now here they have given smelters. So now these smelters are the one, those who are specialized in extracting iron from its ore. Iron from its ore. So now if you have studied chemistry, right? So in chemistry you may have come across this particular term called ore. What is an ore? Can anyone answer? What is an ore? It is not what is a ore, it is what is an ore. Anyone can answer this question? What is an ore? Suppose you have come across this word in chemistry also, and if you have read the chapter in this minerals, definitely you have come across with this ore. Yes, ore. Ore is Shukumaradi. The Ramar, Sudha Patil Ramar. I can't. Original form of metals. Okay. Original form of metals. The raw material, Shukumaradi. Raw form of iron, metal. The raw material, no. Still, I need answers. Come on, wake up. Or you have come across this word definitely. Yes, 100% the word you have come across, the ore. Raw material, somewhat raw material matches, but not exact. Still, try. Still, don't write raw material now. Raw material is over now. Next, new one. Original form of metals might match, but not the exact answer which I am getting from you. Raw material with iron. Raw material with iron. Okay. Still, come on. Don't write naturally occurring solid material. Gangu Prasad, he has come across. Okay, solid material. Yes. Or again, still, the baby tiger. Bhargava. Okay. Left. Okay. So now ore is a naturally occurring mineral, right? It's a naturally occurring. Okay. Solid material or solid mineral. It's is a mixture of two or more metals. Ore is a naturally occurring substance. It's a naturally occurring substance with the mixture of two or more metals. So now iron, okay, natural rock, natural stone. Good, take the stone. Right. Okay, now ore. So now ore, when we talk about iron ore. Iron is not available on earth as an independent or purest form. It has to be extracted from its ore. So now this ore may contain some of those other metals like hematite, bauxite, magnetite, right? So these all the metals, they have one basic property, like the chemical properties, they all are magnetic in nature, right? So now iron is extracted from this ore. Ore is a naturally occurring raw material mixed with two or more material. Good. No metals you can say, right? So these are, hematite is a metal, bauxite is a metal, iron is a metal, magnetite is a metal, right? So this iron is extracted by a process. There is a particular process through which iron is extracted from its ore. So this you much more learn in your geography section in the, right. So I suppose it's minerals. You will read this. Okay. So now ore is iron. Iron is extracted from its ore, naturally occurring raw material with two or more metals. Right. So now this was about iron ore. So now let us go to about the sword of Tipu Sultan. The sword of Tipu Sultan. If you have make a note, okay, I'm just erasing this. The sword of Tipu Sultan. Okay, it was called as, it was made from a steel, iron. Okay, sword of Tipu Sultan. Why we are discussing sword of Tipu Sultan? Right, sword of Tipu Sultan. It was made up of a metal, so it was known as Wood's steel. Wood's steel, made up of mixture of metal. It's Wood's steel. So now woods. Usually in Kannada, it means ukku, ukku in Kannada. Okay, and in Telugu, it is called as hukku in Telugu, and in Tamil and Malayalam, it is called as urukku, right? Delhi number, US code. Okay, all right. Okay, so now this wood steel in Kannada it's called as ukku. I suppose we have got on one famous name in the history of, like we call in Kannada as a Ukkina Manusha. Have you heard this? Ukkina Manusha. Who is called as, who is known as Ukkina Manusha? The Iron Man of India. Ukkina Manusha, the Iron Man of India. Who is he? Who is famously called as? Yes, sir. Sumangala Devi Sajjanavar. Sajjanar. Okay. Yes. Who is it? Which famous personality? Which famous freedom fighter? Yes. Sumangala Sajjanavar. Yes. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Hamsa. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Good. Right? Ukku means iron. Right? In Kannada, it's hukku in Telugu, urukku in Tamil and Malayalam. Right. So now, what was the speciality about Tipu Sultan's sword? It was made in India. Definitely, it was made by Indians only, and they used a technology where the iron extracted from the ore, again it was mixed with carbon and along with charcoal, and they used to assemble in a clay, with that, and again with the specific temperature they used to embed with those mixture. So with this they have formed this wood steel. So once this in the textbook you can see this wood steel. This is the sword of Tipu Sultan, and it was very much heavy. And you know, currently it is now in it has been bought by Vijay Mallya. This sword, right? Tipu Sultan was using. This is a sword, and you can see here the writings. Here you can see the writing in the Urdu script. Where whichever battle he has fought, they have mentioned about those battles and have glorified Tipu Sultan. Okay, so now again you can see the handle, how to handle. This is the one. This is the sword of Tipu Sultan. So now one more. Can I ask you a question? That who invented electricity? Which scientist invented electricity? Can I have the answer? You must be knowing. PTM links are online classes are going also. Okay. Right. Yes. Who invented electricity and also as well as electromagnetism? Father of electricity. Okay, name. Shivkumar Reddy. I just want the name of the scientist. Who invented electricity? Benjamin Franklin. No. Don't make a wild guess. Give me a scientist name. Sudha Patil. No. Okay, no. Shivkumar Reddy. No. Benjamin Franklin is wrong. Is the wrong answer. Yes. Again, still more. Come on. No. Don't write Benjamin Franklin. It's the wrong answer. Benjamin Franklin is the wrong answer. Yes, come on. Benjamin Franklin is the wrong answer. Okay, Kalyan, something he has come with. Tesla. Good. Again, next. Again, any more guesses? Wild guesses, please. No, I think I'm not gonna get the answer from you all, right? Okay, this, because why I'm talking about this is do not write Benjamin Franklin, please. Do not mention Benjamin Franklin. Okay. Now, electricity was invented by a scientist by the name Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday. He has invented electricity and also like he was also like electromagnetism. He was the person who invented electromagnetism also, right? So now why I'm telling his name? Because this person took almost 4 years. He took almost 4 years to study the properties of wood steel, and it was very much famous and it was very much sharp, like the sword, like the historians say that his sword was so much heavy and it was very much sharp that if a person like the enemy is coming in front of, if he is wearing a armor, like armor, it may be a protective equipment. You may have seen the many of those movies where those kings like they will wear some of those armor, right? A protective equipment maybe for the hand. Again, there will be a helmet, right, which is made up of metal, and also for the chest, right? Okay, so now this Tipu Sultan's sword was so much sharp, it would have been pierced to those armors also. Those armors, the protective equipment which they wear. So the Tipu Sultan's sword was so much sharp, it was heavy also. Right? It used to penetrate all those armors, and usually at the last, the enemy will be killed with his sword attack. Right? So this was just about the highlight of wood steel. So now it means Indians. Military waste, good. But all are giving credit to him. Why, sir? Right. Okay, we'll discuss in the FCC. Okay, about that. Right? Wood steel. This was all about the wood steel. So now, we Indians, right? The quality of the sword came from a special type of high carbon steel called woods, which was produced all over South India. Keep in mind, right? Indian wood steel fascinated European scientists, definitely. The wood steel making process, which was widely known in South India, was completely lost by the mid 19th century. The swords and armors making industry died with the conquest of India by the British, and imports of iron and steel from England displaced the iron and steel produced by craft people in India. Right? This was about the wood steel and some of this. See now the Britishers, how they tried to like subjugate the Indian textile. So like that they also interfered in this smelting also. They have come into smelting also, right? This iron, the production of iron and steel. There also they introduced few of the laws, like the people, those who were into this business of smelting. There the Britishers also started intervening there. So after once they have intervened, like the technology which we Indians were using, it came to an halt. You can say it's gradually decreased, and at the end it declined also, right? So now the reasons why the what happened, right? What happened once the villagers or the people who were in the smelting industry, those whose profession was in the iron smelting, what happened to them, right? Okay, now the very first the Britishers, they introduced forest laws, because for the smelting, right, for the they use some type of like the bellows will be there to pump the air, and the furnaces which will be usually made up of clay and stones, very hard clay and stones, they will burn it, and then later on with those clay these furnaces were made, and also they used to bellows means to pump the air, like, and also they need charcoal, right? Charcoal they used to get it from the forest. So now the Britishers, they introduced many of the forest laws, yeah, like it means they prohibited common people from entering into the forest for maybe again for the raw iron ore, the iron ore, or else for the charcoal which they have to get it from the forest. They prohibited initially, and also again, if anyone wanted to for the charcoal, right, they have to pay tax. They have to pay tax, which was very much higher than their profit. It means it gradually decreased their profit once the tax was this was laid down, right? Okay, so now here the after that, like some of the production of wood steel required a highly specialized technique of refining iron. By the late 19th century, the craft of iron smelting, many people gave up their craft and looked for other means of livelihood, just as like it has how it has happened for those people who for the textile industry, right? The same has happened with the same of this smelting industry, right? The iron and craft. By the early 20th century, artisans produced iron and steel faced a new competition. So now let us see about the iron and steel industry, iron and steel industry in India. Iron and steel industry. So now very important topic. Do please jot down these points. Iron and steel industry. Okay. So now there was a geologist. He came from America. His name was Charles Weld. In the year 1904, it was the American geologist Charles, Charles, Charles Weld, along with Dorabji Tata, plus Dorabji Tata, D-O-R-A-B, Dorabji Tata. Okay, so now Dorabji Tata was the elder son of Jamshedji Tata. Okay, the famous personality, Jamshedji Tata. So now these two were wandering in the jungles of Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh. So I will write it in the short form CG. Those, and why? What was the reason? Because they wanted the pure iron ore. Because they wanted to open a full-fledged industrial plant that is only for iron and steel. So they went, and there they found a special community, and that special community, the name of the special community, we call them as Agarias, Agarias, Agarias. So now who are these Agarias? Okay, these two met with this community. Agrarians are a group or a community, those who are specialized in iron smelting. Specialized or specialist, okay? Specialist for this iron smelting. Iron smelting. So now they saw these peoples were carrying a huge block with the help of maybe the bag or gunny bag what they have. So these two saw these peoples from a particular forest, they are carrying something, and went and asked them. They found that they were carrying iron ore. They're carrying iron ore, and they were making some of those most useful of those metal. They were extracting iron from that, and they were making some of those metals, making some of those maybe the sword, or a spear or dagger, or maybe for any household items they are making. It means they knew the art of smelting. These agarias, they are found in Chhattisgarh. So now once they went and see, actually they saw the hill, the place. They wanted to open the factory there. They want to, but it was not possible because the major raw material after iron ore they require is water. As the place which they saw the iron ore, it was very much dry. So as a result, they have to look for the other source. Right. So now again, what happened? Again in the year 1912, very important one, 1912. Okay, it was Jamshedji Tata, right, on the banks of river Subarna Rekha. Subarna Rekha. On the banks of river, this is Subarna Rekha river. Okay, so they founded one hill, that is the Rajhara Hills. Rajhara Hills in Chhattisgarh. So they, because it was the iron ore is a major requirement ingredient or the raw material for the iron and steel industry. Yes, Subarna Rekha river, they opened the first industry, first iron and steel industry of India, that is on the banks of river Subarna Rekha in the year 1912, and they named the iron and ore company as Tata Iron and Steel, Tata Iron and Steel Company. Tata Iron and Steel Company, and the short form of it is TISCO. TISCO. Okay, TISCO. Yes, someone said Agarias. TISCO, Sajjanavar. Okay, Tata Iron and Steel Company. It was established in the year 1912 on the banks of river Subarna Rekha, right? And the name of the company is Tata Iron and Steel Company. Now, still this company is there. It is there in the place particularly. And now, as this industry came up there, the township also built up in the surrounding of that area, and that place name been dedicated to Jamshedji Tata, and the name of the place they have named it after him. It as Jamshedpur. It's near Bilai. Bilai is the steel plant also there. It is there. You know also the name, the place they named it as. It's Madura. No. Okay. It's Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur. The name. Okay. The name dedicated or given the name on behalf of Jamshedji Tata. Anything in Mathura? No, Mathura no. Mathura it's only for the I am talking about the iron and steel industry, not about the textile industry. Okay, Sumangala Devi, right? So do please remember. So still we have about going further about the growth or the revolution of iron and steel industry in India, and also their contribution towards the world, I can say, the iron and steel. And also in further, they became the India, the Tata Iron and Steel became the largest producer of this iron and steel, and a maximum was sent to the European nations during the World War I. Right. So let us conclude here today. So we'll wind up the chapter in the next class. That is might be on Tuesday. Okay. So till then, goodbye.